You've entered the Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, I have an Ironman coach, and yes, he's been on the podcast before. I want to bring him back because he's an amazing, inspirational runner. And if you hadn't checked out his previous episode, I'll, of course, put up the link. But here to share some funny stories and obviously some good tips we can use right away is Jeff Short. Jeff, welcome, man.
Hey, good to be back on again.
Well, let's get right into it. I know you have some awesome stories and you have some great qualifiers that you've qualified for. But first of all, you're a dad, husband, you got a lot going on, and there's a lot of people in your shoes, you know, family logistics, whether they're toddlers, newborns, teenagers, full grown adults. I mean, we all have to juggle our time. How are you making it work with, you know, a family, job, everything?
Well, first of all, I have the most supportive family you could possibly ask for. Having that kind of backup is just so invaluable, and I appreciate it so much. Both my mom and my wife's mom kind of alternate days coming over and taking care of our 9-month-old. And so that works out really good while we go do our thing during the day. And just, you know, scheduling in where you got to get these workouts in, depending on if it's marathon training season or if it's Ironman season. If you want it bad enough, you can absolutely make it work. It just takes some creative planning and you really have to get out in front of things pretty good.
So are you able to bring your son out on any bike rides? I know you ride kind of fast, but you could get like a little car seat or no, bike seat, car seat. What am I thinking?
I don't think he would do very well on a tri bike. I think I'm going to get him one of those little scooter bikes from Pearland Bicycles here pretty soon, because Pearland Bicycles has been fantastic to me. He's just now at the age where we're starting to get him out. In fact, we have Ironman 70.3 Lubbock coming up this weekend. So this is our first road trip with our son. And it actually looks like it's not going to be 117 degrees out there. I think this is going to be Lubbock's like once a century cool front. They're calling for a high of 82 degrees right now.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
We'll see about that. Maybe he can stand at the finish line for a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
Well, does he have like a bike seat for your bike or for Callie's bike at all that he can hang out, or is he still a little too young for that? I'm not sure.
He's a little too young still. I'm sure there'll be a stroller here pretty soon I'll be jogging with or something along those lines. But putting him on a tri bike is probably not the greatest idea. I will see me down in the aero position or the drops with a bike back, bike seat. He does like the bike trainer though. So that works out really good. If I get up to do bike training in the morning, which I actually prefer to do it inside, it's safer. I really feel like you get a better workout on the trainer because you can control a lot of aspects that you can't control out there in the real world. Real world, you always have to be constantly aware of your surroundings, stop signs. You have to follow all the laws. But anyway, he really does seem to like the white noise of the bike trainer. So if I get up at 3:30, 4 in the morning to do an hour and a half, it doesn't disturb him if he's sleeping. But if he is awake, you can just put him in the little baby basket, in there, or hang him in his little swing. And he seems to enjoy that. He doesn't cry very much.
Cool. Well, you got to try it all, see what works. And you made it work. So there you go.
Yeah. The treadmill too.
Awesome. Well, before I forget, I highly recommend a trampoline once they start walking, because they'll start jumping on everything. Hey, might as well get some good exercise and be safe. If not, they're going to be jumping on everything.
Oh no, he's already started in his little scooter seat that we have him driving around in the kitchen. He bops up and down in that constantly. So that's a good idea. I'll add that to the wish list then.
Cool. We said Lubbock. Obviously, you're going to drive there. Now, most Ironman races, do you drive so you can use your own bike, or some people fly and they have to get a service, or how does the logistics work out for this?
Yeah, I really enjoy driving. I like the peace and quiet of it. I drove to Ironman Florida back in November. Had a great time doing that. My parents decided to fly to Chattanooga. So that was the first time I really had to deal, other than one other bike service that I had used once before for Ironman Maryland. I used Tri-Bike Transport this last time for Chattanooga. And those are the only two races that I've had any issue with trying to transport my bike. But they're good services. I love my bike transport. Doesn't exist anymore. I think they sold to Bellaflex, something like that. But Tri-Bike, you just drop off your bike and they come by and pick it up and take it. I mean, depending on what level service you want, they'll drive it right to transition. They'll even put it on the rack for you. You can add your gear bag for $30-$40. They'll transport that too. So it just depends on what you want to do. If I have the option, though, I like to drive and take my own stuff. Not to save a buck, but just because a little peace and quiet usually from some of the screaming around here. And
especially in 2021, you're like, I just want to go. I'll drive
exactly.
it. Yeah, I've been enjoying myself doing a road trip tomorrow morning. So there we go. Well, you qualify. You've done a lot of races since December last time we talked, but the big one I want to talk about is you qualified for a championship race, which is a half Ironman distance, and that's coming up really, really soon, right? A couple months.
Yeah. I qualified for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in St. George, Utah this year. Once down in Ironman, Texas in, what was that, April. And then I did it in Chattanooga as well. The funny story behind that is the Ironman World Championship in St. George is actually the same weekend as my son's first birthday. So going into it, it was going to be, well, if I qualify, I don't know. So Ironman, Texas, and I don't remember offhand. I think I finished 14th in my age group at that, which I was a little surprised that the slots rolled down or there were that many. I think there were 15 or 20 qualifying spots for my age group, from remembering right. But anyway, I turned it down there just because I was still really, really torn about, it's the same weekend as my son's birthday. And then if like we were talking about Kyle and Terry Stone, that family has just been tremendous to me with my coaching and just great people, great friends. I was standing with Terry Stone at Sylvan Beach, the one that just went what is that? The series, the Bayou City.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We were standing there after the race and she made the comment to me. She said, Jeff, if you qualify again in Chattanooga, you really need to go. This is the year. It's in the United States this year. Your son is 1 year old. It's going to get harder as he gets a little bit older. Not saying that you won't qualify again, but you really should go this year. So we went to Chattanooga. Chattanooga was a great race too. Ended up finishing 7th in my age group there and got the world championship slot. And my parents told me, they said, well, let's just go ahead and sign up and we'll work around it. Okay.
Nice.
So when it came through, I signed up for it. Didn't tell my wife. That was my first mistake. Didn't tell her, just straight up, hey, I signed up. And
we've all been guilty of that. Yeah.
Yeah. and a couple of days later was my 40th birthday. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll just kind of slip it in on my birthday on Facebook, and mention it there. And so,
that's great. Have everybody else find out first. No, this is going to end well.
Yeah, that's a mistake too. So I kind of slipped it in, like, what a great 40th birthday present. Yay, love my family, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, going to St. George, Utah, blah, blah, blah. Well, she kept it in. I didn't think that she saw the post because she didn't like it. And I guess she kept it in for 2 or 3 days because her and my family, they had a little celebration for me with the Pearland Triathlon Club over at Twin Lakes in Manville. And she kept it to herself until that Saturday. And then she kind of asked me about it. I brought it up and all holy hell sort of broke loose from there.
It was collecting interest. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Great idea.
But the story ends well because my parents, we're all going to fly out there. We're all going to celebrate. My son's going to see me at the finish line of the Ironman 70.3 World Championship on his first birthday. And then we're going to all drive down to the Grand Canyon And then we're going to drive over to Vegas and get some pictures of my son in a little Elvis costume out in front of the Las Vegas sign. So for the rest of it, you can say I celebrated my first birthday, in Las Vegas. So
it could be a good tradition. Maybe if the championship is the same weekend-ish, hey, every weekend my dad took me to a race. I'm just putting it out there for you.
Well, I think next year the 70.3 is slated to be in Finland or somewhere else, not in the United States. So to Terry's point, this is definitely the year to do it if there is a year. So.
Yeah, well, it could be another race you want to go to. I mean, they fly free up until 2 years old. Just got to pay the tax, so you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll be a fun racecation for him. So also, you did a Boston qualifier. I noticed. I saw your under 3 there at the Woodlands. That was you said kind of a spur of the moment. Had this hard freeze around right after Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Well, I love Ironman. Ironman's in my blood. I absolutely love coaching it. I love doing them. But I'm a runner. In my heart, that's always going to be first and foremost. And for years, even my work email, I had my name and my title, phone number, and everything in blue and gold. Just so every single day, just kind of as a reminder to myself that qualifying for Boston was the end goal for me, or just the next huge step that I wanted to get no matter what. So every day I'd be forced to look at my signature on email and be reminded, that that's the target. So Chevron came around, or what would have been Chevron in 2020, but of course it didn't end up happening. And then I had signed up for a lesser known marathon in February, the USA Fit out in Sugar Land. And right before the Sugar Land Marathon, I ended up coming down with COVID, and my wife did too. And so obviously, you don't want to get out, get anybody sick for that. So ended up deferring that one to next year. And fortunately, I had a very light case, I guess you could say. I know not everybody is nearly as lucky, but I really only took one day off from running. Came back the next day and ran a 10K after about 36 hours off. Now, it was certainly not a very good 10K, but it kind of went through my system pretty quickly. And so then, kept running, kept training, because we all had a feeling the races were going to start to come back more and more. And then we got that great big ice storm that came through here. And did you guys fare pretty well with that? How did you all do?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, my neighbor has a generator, so there we go.
Oh, lucky you, man.
After 2 days, we're like, yeah, sure, we'll plug in. We kind of enjoyed being unplugged for a while, so it was no problem.
We were thrust back into what I suppose was a lot like the French occupation or the German occupation of France. The power was off almost constantly. We were boiling water, doing all that. So during that week, though, there was really nothing better to do but run. So during that whole ice storm week, I would go out and run every single day, and then come in and boil the water and wash my clothes in the sink and hang them by the fireplace, and wore the same outfit, doing that probably 5 or 6 times. But I think that week I ended up putting in close to 80 miles. And towards the end of the week, I thought, the Woodlands Marathon's coming up. I love Willie Folks. He does such a great job with the Texas 10 series. Mm-hmm. Why not? Let's just go out and give it a try. And so for my age group, 3:10 was the qualifier, and of course you want to be as under that as humanly possible. In fact, for this year's Boston qualifier, it was even faster than normal for November. I think you had to be 7.5 minutes faster than your qualifying time.
Yeah, limited spots, and who knows what it's going to be next year.
This year, it'll be back to normal. It looks like in April next year, but so you're shooting for as far below your target as possible. So I knew I needed to get about a 7:10-ish pace to qualify. I went out, though, the first mile and came back 6:49. And I thought, I'm probably going too quick, but I'm just going to hang with this pace. And every time I clicked by, 3, 4, 5 came. And I was right at that 649, 650, made it out to 10 miles. And I thought, man, I'm feeling really good. I'm just going to ride this out. I'm going to keep drinking my stuff, taking my gels where I need to. And ended up getting to the 13 mark, the halfway mark. And I wasn't even thinking sub 3 at this point. I looked up and saw like 1:30 and change on the clock when I crossed 13. And I thought, man, there might be a shot at a sub 3 here. Let me just hang on. And anybody that's ever run a marathon can tell you a lot can happen between mile 14 and mile 19. That's you know what it's going to be there.
Yep.
So I just kind of turned it off and went into that blue space that we go into. But around 17, it started becoming a little bit more real. Like, I'm feeling good here, holding at 649, 650. Let's give it a go. And got to mile 20, and I realized I had 43 minutes to play with. And I'm like, okay, I can easily get a 10K in 43 minutes. So ended up coming across the line at 2:59:20. So
wow,
hit the mark by over 10 minutes for Boston, and got the sub 3. So that is probably the highlight of my career so far. Just the feeling of knowing that you got the sub 3 and qualified.
Yeah. So what are you gonna put on your email signature now? Are you gonna have to figure something out?
I don't know. I think Berlin and Tokyo is 245. So
okay, so you're going for the majors. All right, cool.
We'll see what colors those are. So.
Yeah. The Woodlands. I mean, great after party. I don't know if it was dialed back at all, but that finish, like, you could be going my pace and it feels like you're going fast because it's that windy, I guess, path, and that's a fun finish. All of a sudden, it pops up.
Well, your brain is so dead at that point. I realized that was pretty much the same territory as Ironman Texas. The finish line is Ironman Texas. And so when I got to 26, it's funny, you can look on Strava and see it. For that 0.2 miles, I took it up to about a 5:40 something pace because I realized, this is the Ironman Texas area, and it looks like this is going to happen. And I could hear John walk, calling people across the line. But I could see in the distance the gun time, and I was like, man, I want to make it under 3 on the gun time too. So I really turned it on the last point too. But
and there's a little bit of a downhill too. It's a bit scary. I mean,
yeah, it was a good finish. It was so refreshing to see all the people out there on the grass, and I think for so many people, that's the biggest part. Yes, we missed the racing. Yes, we missed the train. Well, most of us trained, but yes, we missed the racing. It's so good to see the camaraderie of the races. And if you're a hugger like I am and somebody that likes to shake hands, to see that aspect coming back is just awesome. Whether you like the masks, whether you don't like the masks, it's nice to see people interacting more and more. And that was so cool at the Woodlands. That was the first time really since all this started that you saw a mass gathering of people with, not a ton of masks on, but people walking up, hugging each other, enjoying a post-race snack together. It's just so good for the soul to see that.
Yeah. It's amazing. I think it was, when I was talking to Willie, it was like one of the last big races and one of the first big races to come back. So it's really cool to see. And that, I've done the half and the full, and I've enjoyed them both. Yeah. Obviously the half I enjoy way more, but that's fine.
It's a great course. I mean, I told you before when I was here, Chevron will always have a special place in my heart. And I think anybody's first marathon always will. But, the Woodlands course, that's just where it's at, man. There's a couple of rolling hills, but if you're running it strategically, you can pretty much hide in the shade of the trees, depending on where you are. It's a beautiful course, the way that it's set up and designed. And I'll definitely be going back next year to do that one again.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
Cool. Now, are you going to do Chevron or Ramco coming up in January, or is it scheduled different?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy season. This year was kind of all the deferrals from Ironman in 2019. So that's why Lubbock, this one coming up, will be my third. And Then I've got Waco, Texas full, Florida full, the World Championship. So this is going to be the year of Ironman. But next year, it'll be Chevron in January, USA Fit February, Woodlands in March, and Boston in April.
Oh, so you're going to do Houston, or you're going to do Chevron Houston in January 2022?
Yes.
For this kind of, okay, cool. Oh, great. I mean, it's 50th anniversary. I was going to talk you into it. Not that you need any talking into doing a race.
Well, I think it was going to be the 50th anniversary this year, wasn't it? And then they just
last year doesn't count.
I think Dallas BMW did the same thing. They just kind of pushed it back a year and said, okay, this is going to be the 50th.
Mm-hmm. And another plug for BCS, they postponed their 10th anniversary just because they don't want a virtual 10th anniversary, which I understand. That's a great race as well, but that's December. Yeah. So yeah. But no, I think Houston has some big plans. I'm going to be talking to them hopefully next week. So
cool.
That'd be great.
Cool. Yeah, they do a great race. And to what you said about virtuals, God bless the race directors. I think everybody appreciated what they were trying to do. We all understand as racers that they're trying to stay in business and they're trying to run their companies. And I appreciate every race director that tried to put on a quality virtual and do the best that they could with that. But there's just no replacing the live races. I think everybody would agree with that. So good to see all that coming back in full now.
Yeah, running's free. We pay for the camaraderie and the fun and the cheering of, especially Houston. Yeah, I can't imagine an Ironman. I'm going to check out your an Ironman Texas. I guess next year will be the next one I can check out. But yeah, it's just the energy, it's just unmatched.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to get that thrill running 8 laps around Silver Lake, out here in Pearland or something.
Yeah. Now you did the Shadow Creek Tri as well.
Done the Shadow Creek a few times. That one's actually right down the street from my house. So, I always try to do that one every year. We'll be out there again. And what is that? Middle of July, I think, coming up next month. It'll be a good sprint. It's always a lot of fun.
Now, is that the one where the water could be a scary issue?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was going to say this for anybody that's never done a tri, or anybody that's fairly new to tri, or even people that have done a few. You can never underestimate how much, no matter what kind of front people put on about how they're not scared, they're not nervous, they're big, tough. When I got into the water out at Shadow Creek, I guess that was 2 years ago, underneath the water out here in a lot of these lakes that we swim in, there's a concrete barrier that you have to step over, similar to what I suppose looks like the middle of the freeway, something probably about waist high concrete divider. So as you go down into the water, you have to step over this once you get in there. So I stepped over the concrete divider, and the setup was such that we were all going to swim out to the middle of this little lake, and then we would start from there and swim to the end. So as I'm crossing over the top of this concrete divider, I reach down onto the divider and I grab what I think is a rock, like a big rock. I'm going to hop over the divider, and in my hand, the rock comes with me. So I pull it out and I look at it, and it's the biggest snail I have ever seen in my life. The thing is about the size of a fist and just disgusting looking. So I scream like a little girl, just ah! And I haul off and throw this thing out into the center of the people, just because it's nervous reaction. You're trying to get rid of what's in your head. That thing hit the water, and I guess everybody heard me scream. Everybody in my age group just screamed and started swimming in different directions. So the moral of the story is, I think everybody's more nervous than it appears whenever you get ready to start your race. So don't ever feel like you're the oddball that doesn't have a ton of experience, or that you're the only one out there that's worried about it, because I'll bet you about 85-90% of anybody starting off the tri swim is at least a little bit nervous. So that was a funny
definitely. Now, what about your food? I brought Lisa on, and she was amazing. I'll bring her back on as well, because so many people are very, very diligent, like they have a specific plan. Or do you just kind of like, I know what I'm going to I know what I like to eat. This is what I want to eat for the week. How are you planning like your food? Because a lot of times people run out of options and then they get something that's, let's say, unhealthy. They know it's not good for them, et cetera. So what's your food plan?
Well, I work with Lisa, Focus Fit Nutrition, her company. She's just been absolutely awesome for me. Love working with her. Great, knowledgeable lady. The people that I work with that ask me a similar question, how do you eat right? How do you do this? First of all, I just tell them, make one healthier choice a day, whether that's a piece of fruit as opposed to a cookie or whatever. And start with that and make that sustainable, because I really feel like 98% of the diets out there fail simply because they're not realistic. They're not sustainable. If you like pizza, you're going to always probably like pizza. So have a piece every once in a while. Don't say to yourself, I can never have this again, or I can never have that again. It's just about making mostly wiser choices. So to your point, how do you do that? My wife and I cook a lot on the weekends. I think we were Hispanic in our last life. We make a lot of beans on the weekend, dried beans. We make a lot of rice, basmati, jasmine rice, turkey taco meat, like we said. I like to use a lot of peppers from the grocery store as opposed to overly salty seasoned packets, things like that. And those three options right there, you can throw that stuff into a salad. You can throw it on a tostada. You can wrap it up, take some of it for lunches. So if you have some good healthy foods like that, or chicken breast, or, just some healthy stuff that you can cook on the weekends that you can take with you to lunch, to work to lunch, that you can throw in things, that gives you a lot more options rather than just cooking one or two nutritious meals and then being out of luck come Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Give people options.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff that you can do multiple things with. It's never a bad idea to have fresh fruit, on hand. Always try to buy that on the weekends because, really strawberries and everything will go bad in a few days in your refrigerator. So, if you can have that just as a work lunch option, that works really well. So, but I'm no different than anybody else. I like to have my ice cream, at the end of the night, probably too often.
Well, I love getting tips from people because, what I got from you is you just substitute. Like, eat the burger, don't eat the fries, and you get a sweet potato or peppers or something. Give people options. But I think the big one was so many people that go on a diet, and those people are the worst, right? Because they're like, I can't have this, I can't have that. Well, maybe focus on the stuff that you can have. So you're giving people ideas, which I think is great. Yeah, peppers versus, sodium. It just makes sense. You need some sodium, but not, no over salty. Like go to a restaurant, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how much sodium is in everything in the American diet. Just crazy. But that's what it's all about. You shouldn't limit yourself. I'm not saying you should eat pizza 3 nights a week, but if that's something that you truly, truly enjoy, then have it from time to time, for God's sake. It's not going to hurt you. When, we go out and eat probably once every couple of weeks, but, I'm not counting calories at something like that. You make it up the next day on a longer run, toss in a couple of miles or, drink a little bit of extra water or do what you need to do. But it's when you start to limit yourself that you run into problems and you won't be able to sustain.
Now, how about, let's get back to a couple more stories. You mentioned the Rocky Mountain Half in Estes Park, which just getting to Estes Park will scare me. Honestly, I'm not taking that drive ever again. Well, and then you keep going to the national park. Yeah. You're on a 2-lane road of nothing.
Yeah. So last time you had me on, we were talking funny race stories, and I went back and kind of looked at my stuff, and the Estes Park race is definitely worth mentioning. I got it in my head that it was going to be a great family destination and a wonderful idea to go run the Rocky Mountain Half Marathon. Because, that just sounds like a good idea. How cool is that? I ran the Rocky Mountain Half Marathon. Well, if you've never dealt with elevation, let me tell you, that is a real thing. So not only did we sign up for the Rocky Mountain Half Marathon, but a lot of these big city races will promote their day before 5K as well. So this wasn't just the half marathon. This was the Elk double, meaning there was a 5K the night before and a half marathon in the morning. So I got about into mile 2 of the 5K and realized, oh God, this is going to suck tomorrow. Absolutely. And
that's cool. You had a 5K warm up to figure this out.
Yeah. So I had the whole night to worry about how much the next day was going to suck. And man, that is probably, that's arguably the hardest race I've ever done in my life, over a full Ironman. Absolutely. Wow. About mile 9, and this was a couple of years ago, mile 9 of the half marathon. And we ran in front of the Stanley Hotel, which is the famous hotel that you see in The Shining, the movie The Shining. And I got to that point, and I just had to will myself the final rest of the way. The race pictures of that are hilarious. It literally looks like I am in hell. The look on my face coming across the finish line. So
awesome.
I don't advise that one if you're somebody that's from Houston or somebody that lives in a low coastal area, unless you're going to go there and acclimate for about a month. You might be okay with Boulder, because I think Boulder is about 3,000 feet. But what is Estes anyway? 8?
At least 6 or 7. We'll fact check this, but it's, yeah, even just driving a car, you're like, am I hitting the gas pedal? I mean, it's just like no oxygen. The air's thinner, but there's no oxygen. So I don't understand it.
You feel like your lungs are bleeding by the end. Just, I can't even describe it. It's just awful.
We'll link your previous episode. You talked a lot about your coaching, but with all your coaching clients, what are some of the fun things you've seen come out of it? Is it someone that's brand new, or is it someone that wants to improve? Like, what are some of the favorite parts about your coaching that you love?
Well, my little group is starting to come alive. We're getting more people, more interest, because races are coming back. And it's just so much fun from my end to watch the progress. We've got everybody from, the most basic beginners who are just getting out there and have worked their way up from a walk up the stairs. Now they're out to 2 or 3 miles.
Wow. Awesome.
I've got some guys that are, seasoned Ironmen. Proud of every one of them. Every one of my people's doing well. I'm really proud. Hopefully he won't mind me mentioning his name, but I've got a guy named Ahmed who ran a 4:07 at the Woodlands and turned around and ran a 3:30 last week at the Seattle Tunnel Marathon. So that's pretty good. Now, I'm not saying that's me. He put in all the hard work and did everything super, super well. But, I have no doubt that he'll be ready to Boston qualify, within a year or so. He's working super, super hard. So I think we can get him down.
So what's next for you then? So after you're going to do the half Ironman championship, are you looking at a bigger race since you're more of a runner, looking for more of the Kona route? Or you're just like, let me just get through this year and then we'll figure it out. I know there's something for you.
It's a pretty busy year with the rest of the Ironman stuff going on. Very excited about the World Championship again in St. George. That's going to be a really crowning highlight. But I'm not overlooking the fulls. There's 2 fulls to get ready for. So the long bikes are going to start again pretty soon. The nice 4 or 5 hour bike rides. Florida was just beautiful last year. Absolutely love that race. So I'm excited to be going back and doing that one again. But after that, it'll just be time to, take a couple of days off and then get revved up, get ready to go for marathon season. See how much further under 259 we can push it.
Well, then after Boston, you ever thought about doing an ultra?
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think I'm at that stage in my life yet where it appeals to me to just go out to the middle of nowhere and run 100 miles or 50 miles or.
There's a 50K, 31-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that they kind of start there. I've got some buddies, Patrick Wills, one of them. Oh my God, the guy's an animal. Just 100-mile races like it's no big deal. I get it, but I don't get it.
Well, you can do the Route 66 one. I believe it's like a third of a mile detour to go to the end of the what do they call it? The middle of the universe. Oh, I got to look this up real quick. But yeah, it's like just at a third of a mile. So technically it's an ultra, but 50K, it's pretty, you could do it.
Well, yeah. What is 50? Full marathon's what, 42 and a half, 42, something like that.
Yeah. So it's around 31 point something miles.
I wonder if there's anybody listening that's ever run off course at a race that has added that much extra by accident.
Oh, definitely. Just from zigzagging. And GPS,
Yeah.
we'll count that as well. Why not?
Yeah.
The center of the universe detour. That's what it's called. The center of the universe. It's just basically an echo chamber. But I think just like maybe a third of a mile, 0.3 mile to your next run. All right, there you go.
Well, you never say never.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking it off the table, but probably not this year. Probably not next year either.
Unless you get lost and then you're like, well, I might as well just get a medal for this next time I do something dumb. So
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, I love that you got some cool stories. I love how you're helping coaching from all levels. But any last minute things you want to add before I ask you 3 bonus questions?
No, there's a whole lot of really good stuff out there. Another one I kind of wanted to plug was the Texas Marathon on New Year's Day. If anybody,
yeah,
that one is fantastic, and I know it goes up head to head against Run Houston, and I absolutely love those. So I don't want to take that off the table if anybody's considering doing the race park, the Sam Houston Race Park.
Well, it's different distances though. You got 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. I mean, it's different. Yeah.
But this year was my first experience with the Kingwood, the Texas Marathon, and I met that race director. I'm drawing a blank right now what his name was, but
Steve Boone. Mm-hmm.
Steve Boone, yeah, great guy, man, awesome. I don't remember how many 100 marathons he said he's run. Just
700, maybe. I mean, just
it's
guy.
Up there, man. But it's a cool course. It's along this little path in Kingwood, under some trees. A little bit hilly, but I highly recommend that one. It's certified, so you can Boston qualify and do everything that you want to do there. So I had a really good race there, good experience. If anybody gets up to Dallas, the Trinity River stuff is good. The Trinity race, they have a 5K, 10K, half marathon up there. I think those are nighttime races as well. I guess with the coaching stuff, one of the other really, really cool aspects is meeting people that you wouldn't meet anywhere else besides coaching. And this is true of Strava and things like that too. I've made so many good friends along the way on this journey of running and triathlon. And sometimes your paths cross. Like I met one of my friends, Richard. He's from Virginia. We met for the first time in Chattanooga. And it's so crazy when you meet somebody that you've known online for years, and then you meet them face to face. You almost don't even know what to say. You give them a hug. Hey, you're my friend from online. But
not creepy at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but it's super cool, And, and I met a guy in Chattanooga that lives in Louisville, Kentucky, and I coach him now for his next Ironman. And super, super cool guy. And I'm just so thankful for the sport, so thankful to the sport for bringing us all together like that. You just meet people running and doing this stuff that you would never meet just walking around in daily life. Some of my best friends are, I've got a friend that I compete against in the Texas 10 series named Constantine, a guy from Russia. I never would have met this guy, and now like we're the best of friends. And it's just one of the most beautiful things about our sport, about running in general, is just how it brings people together. And that's what we need in this world so much right now. So much.
Oh yeah, definitely focus on what we have similar, not what we have apart. So that's awesome. Yeah. Geographic aside, people, different industries. And luckily we have this running or races to bring us together. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got 3 more questions for you. It's new since December, but you probably already heard it from previous episodes. 3-question lightning round. You ready?
All right, I'll try.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. It's a common one. Like, I'm not going to shock you. It's fine. All right. Number 1, describe your running form as an animal.
Probably an ostrich. I run very upright, and my leg turnover is very fast. I don't have super long sprinter strides, but I run very much upright, and my cadence normally is between about 192 to 200.
Yeah, so, that's a fast one. That's above the norm. That's awesome.
I look like Mario when he's, before he has a mushroom and he's little and you push B and he's running super fast. That's there you go.
Is that bad that I was like, yeah, he just push B and then go to the right. Can't go to the left.
We'll see how many people do
that. Yeah, no kidding. All right. Question number 2. What's your dream race?
Boston. I'll be fulfilling that hopefully here in April coming up. I've just heard so much about it, read so much about it. Such a historic race. Just honored to be, hopefully going and doing it. I keep saying hopefully. I can't imagine the BAA is going to lower or raise the standard to 10 minutes plus for your qualifying time, but you never know. So Boston will be the dream, and then we'll move to the next one.
Yeah. So what is the registration? What, September? It was right after Erie, I remember.
November 8th is when it's going to open for April.
Oh, okay. So it's a little bit later. Well, maybe later than I thought. Who knows?
There's some really interesting ones out there. I'm sure you've seen. There's one in Antarctica, of all places. There's one along the Great Wall of China. Those would be kind of cool to do, but certainly not for time, just for the experience.
Yeah, you'd have to just look around to enjoy it. You don't really want to get hurt.
Absolutely.
And question number 3, we talked about a little bit, but pretty should maybe get a little specific on this one. What's your favorite culinary guilty pleasure?
Tacos. Just
nice.
Tacos. We like to go to taquerias. I get a lot of carne asada tacos. Probably a little high in sodium, but I don't really care. I guess that depends on what category you're asking me that question on. Now, if it's sweets, definitely going to go with ice cream with some Reese's Pieces on top.
Oh, okay. Reese's Pieces. All right. Interesting. I like it. Shout out to the base flavor. You're going for vanilla? You're going for another base flavor?
Vanilla is fine. Vanilla, maybe some Hershey syrup on top of that too. So, Lisa, if you're listening, I apologize. I don't know that I claim the Hershey syrup in MyFitnessPal. I might leave that one off.
Yeah. Well, it melts together with the vanilla, so it doesn't count technically.
There you go.
There's calories, but it's all the same. All right, cool. Yeah, appreciate it, and good luck at Boston. And you're gonna race that one. Your qualifying time's awesome on that, but appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you at an upcoming race.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.